much can we forgive when we've been broken? This Sunday, Pan Elders is Man Lover.
You can't have one without the other.
In the national pan finals, medium band finals. Guys, this morning we want to continue the conversation surrounding pan and pan elders, and with Mr. Ojay Richards placing second over Lord, putting Tobago on the map yet again another year. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Richards.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
You're doing big things. They're always doing big things, And I want to begin by asking you, how did pan be at the epicenter of your life?
Well, I would say it started off in summer camp. So, in my younger days, I was probably around 6, 7, somewhere there. You have the summer break, and you just want to go out and have fun with your friends, go out and play cricket, play football, or whatever. My mother decided she's gonna put me in a pan class. That's at the All Boys Steel Orchestra. I was not interested in the least to go and play pan. But obviously I had no choice. She told me, she's gonna find something for me to do, and I never regretted it because when I started, I realized, okay, this thing is kind of fun. Yeah. I kind of picking it up quite nicely. I actually started off playing guitar pan in All Boys. They used to have to put a cinder block for me
because it was kind of short.
To be able to reach up to the guitar pan. My first panorama, I played the iron, not even a steel pan. I played the iron. After that, I played the guitar pan, and coming out from there, I would have moved on to the Dixieland Steel Orchestra, and from there I decided, hey, I'm gonna try tenor pan, then seconds, and eventually I worked my way around the instruments of the steel band. I don't think I played bass for panorama before.
But sure, if you can,
definitely I can play.
To do it, you could do it.
I can play all the instruments in the orchestra, but in terms of panorama, it was more like seconds, tenor, guitar. But that's how the journey started. Coming out of that, my first interaction in terms of wanting to arrange, it was in the Dixieland Steel Orchestra again. That's when we hired Len Bugsy Sharp to be the arranger for the band that year. And I just remember him coming into the band. Now, he doesn't have score, he doesn't have manuscript, he doesn't have anything like that. He just comes in. He walks outside, listen to the song, take a little breather, the way he has to do. He come back in and he just stand up. And you just see doing that kind of shaking thing. And then he just started to rattle out notes. All right, guitar, C sharp, E, bass, F, whatever, and just started to shell out notes. And then we come 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the music just come together just like that. And I just thought that was really amazing. And I said, I want to be like that. I want to be just like that.
Yeah, or even better.
So no, and that's what I mean. So I wanted to be just like that, and that was the problem.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be just like that, and Len Booksy Sharp is on a different level mentally, right? So the things that he would see in his head, other persons might not see in their head. So I started off exactly like that. I didn't want no score. I didn't want no written music. I wanted to do it from my head because that's how I see Booksy do it. So I started off arranging. I got my first opportunity to arrange with Hope Pan Groovers and Uptown Fascinators. Started off to arrange. I don't want no score. I don't want to see no score. I just went from my head and just think. My first time arranging with Uptown Fascinators, we made it to the finals. That was the first time the band ever made it into the finals that year. And it showed that, okay, I'm going down the right road because the band has never made it into the national finals before. And they made it in. And it was like, okay, so things going nice. I continue. With the year after that, I think we came fifth or something. Sorry.
So I don't mean to cut you. So you're saying that, Mr. Sharp inspired you to be an arranger, and your first stint at being an arranger, you took the band to finals.
Yes, for the first time, the band, in the band's existence, that was the first time they actually made it into the finals. And so that really solidified that, okay, you're actually a little bit talented in what you're doing here.
A little bit.
You just craft it and make it a little bit better.
Right.
So as I was moving forward, years go by, I'm still not scoring music. So one of my mentors at the time, this is Kenrick Noel, he's always telling me, score your music. Score your music.
And just for the viewers like myself who might not know what scoring music is, just give us a little insight about that.
Okay, so let me explain. If you're reading a book, so you want to read a book, the words that you would read, that tells whatever language it's in. If you reading instructions or something, any kind of instructions, and it says make a left here, turn right, turn left. So you're seeing that, and you're reading that, and you're able to understand that, and you could take those instructions from there. Now, written music, written scores is basically the same thing, but the language is not English, it's not Spanish, it's actually the language is music. So the language of music. So just like you would have words on a paper, you basically have musical words on a paper.
So there's the treble clef, the squiver, the semi-quiver,
yes,
semi-breathe, and all these kind of things.
So
I know a little thing about music.
You have a little thing with them, man. Yeah, so that basically is like that. You have the quiver, the treble clef. Treble clef is the high notes, the bass clef, basically, and go on. So that kind of guides you of the musical language, per se. So that was what we were able to do. So I didn't want to score any music because that's not how Booksy do it, right? Booksy didn't score no music. He just from his head, so I wanted to be like that. So I just say, now Mr. Noel was telling me, score your music, score your music. I didn't want to hear about that, It was Hulk. We played that year for Hulk. So preliminaries, we came first. Semi-finals, I think we came third or something. And then finals, sixth. The only thing I didn't do is cry. Right, so I was thinking, hey boy, like what going on that thing? And so from the next day, I started going back in the video of that performance and started to realize, okay, this could have done different, I could have done that different. And I say, score your music, just try scoring the music for next year. So then I started music and I started scoring. I was very slow at the start, but when I started scoring, I realized originally where would I put this note and this note there, it's clashing. That note is clashing with that note, and I wouldn't have seen it or heard it really because the entire band is playing, and if you're not watching the score, you can't see that. So certain things that you will not see and just hear just off, easily like that. The score shows you, hey, it's like this word you're trying to read, encyclopedia.
So in other words, the scoring of the music helps the music just as language to help the music to be eloquent.
Yes, correct.
And fluent.
Correct. You're able to put the commas or the full stops, or you want to, exactly, punctuating this or that, because it's not clashing with each other. So the score is able, there are people, like I said, like Len Booksy Sharp, who's able to have that in his head without even touching a score and able to spread it out. But other persons, like, if I have to score my music now to really see exactly. I used to think scored music sounds like scored music. And if you're scoring your music, that's how your music gonna sound. It's gonna sound like you generated it from but that's not the case. It's whatever creativity you have inside, it just helps or enhances that.
Yeah. So there has been a lot of talk about, Cats and Jammers winning and yet another year and people saying that you should have win, you know, and I think I recall being in Trinidad some time ago and seeing you guys perform, and man, I don't know, people just do skit for pan.
Yeah. Well,
So just share thoughts about you know what people are saying online, and you know how do you reckon that you know this victory should have been given to you?
okay. So first and foremost, every band, every arranger believes that their band should have won or could have won at the time. At the end of the day, it's a competition, right? They could only have one winner unless you have a tie or whatnot, right? So you need to go into the competition hoping to win with full confidence that you're going to win, but you need to also expect the reality that there's a chance that you might not win, right? Now, persons would look at certain things. Now, I really, honestly, I appreciate all my supporters, especially persons who believe that the band should have won or whatnot. I really appreciate all the love and support that they give. But at the same time, there are certain things, there's a rubric within the judging scheme, right? So arrangement is how much ever points, general performance is how much ever points, tone, quality, rhythm. So there's a lot of things that could have stepped up that 2 points. So someone might say, the arrangement was really bad. This arrangement was this and that and thing. Okay, but then what if the tone wasn't as good?
Yeah.
What if the tone of finalists was not as good as Castanjama's tone? I don't know. What if the general performance, like the judges or judge thinks that Castanjama's had a little bit of a better general performance? It could vary so much because it's the rubric is there to kind of make it an even playing field. Now, if it was just arrangement alone or just rhythm alone, then people could probably base an argument on something. But I mean, 2 points could go either way. I mean, these are six judges.
And you guys won by 2. They won by 2 points.
Yeah, they won by 2 points.
Wow, that's even a feat that is quite commendable, because I mean, come on, you're quite young. I'm sure you and I share the same age, but you know, coming from from whence you came, up in Pan, I'm sure that this is a victory worth celebrating, and I'm certain that next year you will, you know, bring home the victory.
Well, every year we're just gonna try harder. You know, when I go into the competition, it's full guns blazing. I'm ready to win. And if I don't get a win, like I said on Facebook, it's not your time. If it's not your time, it's not your time. If it's Castanjama's time, get their hat trick. Hats off to them. You know, at the time in the day, you know, you want to win. You feel a little bit disappointed, but I mean, you have to get rid of that one time and just be like, come on. At the end of the day, it's a competition. Everyone is going there to win, and everyone there is capable of winning. You know.
So how did you feel when you placed second? I mean, it's quite a big competition. You're competing not just from people from Tobago, but from Trinidad as well. You know, how do you feel, you know, being rolling with the big guns?
So I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of the times I hear the other arrangements, they just be like, wow, boy, look, this band song is real good. That band song real good. Sometimes you just had to kind of try not to listen to the other bands, because it's like
it could demotivate you.
No, I wouldn't say demotivate, but it could give you a little intimidation. But I mean, I thrive in intimidation. Like if it is set back in the start, I like to come from behind and just show everybody, like, you know, if you want to talk, all right, talk about this. Let me show you how it's done, you know. But we have so many talented arrangers in this competition. I mean, coming from X amount of bands and then breaking it down to 16, breaking it down to 10 in the final, and to be able to be in the top 2, that's a great feat. I mean, I'm thanking God for it every day for giving me that talent.
So what are some of your challenges, you know, being prepared for something like this? You know, what is the general band like in terms of their energy and their respect for you as the arranger? You know, just share that.
So I'll start with the challenges. Time management. Time management is a huge challenge. Once you could capture the time management well, I think you have no problem. I didn't capture it well. I mean, I didn't capture it bad, but
it deserves room for improvement.
Yeah, correct. Because the band is not only from Trinidad, the band is from South Trinidad. Right. I'm from Tobago, which means catching flights, going down or catching a boat, and going down to South, doing the work. Now, I still have a job in Tobago. So couple weeks, I would have had to catch a flight in the morning, come up to Tobago, go to work, catch a flight after work, go back down, and then go to South, deal with the music, and then get a little bit of rest because you're leaving South whatever time in the morning, go back to the airport again, catch a flight, come to work, catch a flight back down. Sometimes, no, not every time would be like that, but
That's a general operation.
it's been like that for a few times, yeah. And all of that with putting your mind in a place to move on with the music, and that paired with you still have another band to do music for, so you have to now separate your mind from that, take your mind off of this medium band, put your mind onto the large band, or put your mind on the small band, because if you're not managing your time, these bands would start to overlap. Small will start to overlap with medium, medium will start to overlap with large, and splitting your mind in three ways is not easy unless you really manage your time properly. But going to the spirit of the band now, the band has really accepted me. I'm grateful for that. The band has really accepted me as a family member. They enjoy my music, and I think that's most important. They enjoy the style that I approach my creativity. And
yeah, boy, they're real bad.
yeah, so they look forward to that. Like, you know, sometimes it's a little bit nerve-wracking because when you hear them say, "I can't wait to see where you come with this boy," it's like, all right,
stack pressure on you.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah,
you
have
know
to
what
come
I mean?
real good. But as we're on, the performance, the choice of song, I couldn't discern just by that short clip what song you guys chose. But what was the reason? What was the basis of choosing that song? And the performance thereof.
So the song I chose was "Me Lover," right, by Lord Nelson. I think it just kind of it gives a nice bounce. The way I attack choosing a song, one, it has to be a popular enough song, right? I generally go for older songs.
Why is that? Because it seems as if you have an older soul. I mean, is it that the modern music these days does not afford you that creativity or the creative latitude?
Correct. Now there are some good songs in the modern music, but when you see these harmonic passages that happen in the older song, it's a lot easier to grab to. And then again, like I said, popularity with the judges, popularity with the crowd and the audience. Now you have to, if you could separate your mind from just panorama music as the music alone, you have to encompass a thought of full performance, how the crowd would react to this, how the judges would react to this, how the players would react to this. And you have to think about all these things when you're choosing a song. And the older songs, the old hits, I would say, the older songs that are big hits are the ones that I would generally kind of go towards attacking, because the musical content is broader. You have a broader span to work with. And then it's easy for somebody, once your audience could dance easily, tap their foot, you catch yourself moving to the song easy because they could identify with, this is a oldie but it's a goldie. I think that makes a great panorama song.
I just want to ask you objectively, Pan has been quite, at the epicenter of our culture nationally. And as of recent, you would have seen the proclamation of the implementation rather of the steel pan being a part of the coat of arms.
Right.
Do you think just as much as the dollar would have evolved, do you believe that pan has evolved, in terms of its offerings? And if not, how do you see it further evolving, in terms of developing and, just expressing music through pan?
Pan has definitely evolved. If you look at where it all began, it was some little tin cans, and steel pan was for the gangsters back then. Myself or yourself or any kids or them kind of thing, they couldn't touch a steel pan, they couldn't go to a pan side. And now it's accepted, and now it's going international. Pan is worldwide now, and until the point that we even develop so much that there's the electric pan. There's a pan that could play all the tones that like a keyboard could play. So you can see pan is really evolving and moving forward. So I would definitely say that we are moving in the right direction in terms of the development of the steel pan.
Yeah. I when you mentioned steel pan, I think some years ago I thought about how we could, kind of not just have pan around panorama time. How do we commercialize pan? Right? How do we further put the nation and this laudable instrument, on the national stage, and so much so that, people will pay thousands of dollars to come to our shows to witness, this expression of music. Do you see yourself and possibly even others like Kush and so on coming together to do that, and just as how you see like Voice and them going to Miami and putting on soca shoes and so on. What is the future like in terms of you being
Definitely,
an
I see there's
organizer?
possibility for that. Now, there are actually things that are going on throughout the year. It's just not as publicized as the panorama, because we know the panorama is like the mecca, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
But there's also stuff like jazz. There's Pan in the 21st century. Now, Pan in the 21st century is for something like if someone is not too keen on the panorama vibe. You want something more musical,
Yeah.
soft tone, kind of
Yeah.
different approach. Pan in the 21st century deals with that, where you take a song, maybe see it's not a soca, it's like a R&B or something, and you do the arrangement to suit that. It gives a nice different kind of vibe. There's also music festival, the Steel Pan Music Festival. So there's other stuff. I think last year we had the Steel Pan Music Festival, where this is classical music now, where the approach is your technique, your dexterity, or it's not just the bam 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 but all of these things would have their time to get as popular as the panorama, because I mean panorama has been running for years and years and years. So now these times would have their time. Now in terms of internationally, again, persons like Duvon Stewart, Len Boogsy Sharp, these guys are international. These guys are doing shows internationally. Myself, I've been around the world showcasing the steel pan Kush Ramsey as well. These things are not, I would say, not out of our reach. These are things that we do have in plans, and maybe eventually we're going to start getting calls to arrange for bands abroad, like London, Panorama, Antigua, Guyana.
That's
all of these are
there are a lot
possibilities.
of opportunities,
Definitely.
for Pan and being a Tobagonian. My question to you is, Mr. Richard, do you see that Pan assisting in having our, I don't want to say delinquent youth, but those that might be quite deviant, in terms of mitigating crime, because crime is quite rampant right now in Tobago and nationally. How do you see you among your other peers, coming together to ensure that our youth are fully occupied? Because you mentioned it, Pan takes you abroad. Right, I remember being in school and jealous in my peers and them because me can't play pan, right? But they going here, there, and everywhere. Every weekend in Trinidad in a hotel, right? My first time going in a hotel was probably 4 or 3 years ago. Do you understand? So just share some of the opportunities for young people and just encourage them as we close.
Definitely. Now, Pan takes you international, and I mean that in not even the slightest way. Now, I used to travel every single year with Tobago tourism and culture. I'm speaking every year, traveling to a different country, showcasing the steel pan, free of charge. You're getting to travel the world, where people, want to go for vacation. You just, every year you get a call, hey, we're going to St. Lucia, hey, we're going to
All
UK.
expenses
Hey,
paid.
all expenses paid, just because, I took time to develop this craft. And the steel pan has access to everyone. I mean, anyone can play the steel pan once they learn it. And it really does take, like I said, my mother took me from summer camp. I wanted to run out and play. I could have been doing something else all now. If she didn't do that, I might have been, I don't know, on the roadside, just sit down in a corner, maybe not being delinquent or, running jogs or anything, but just kind of watching life pass by, and all these opportunities would not have been afforded to me if I didn't really try to take up the steel pan. So I think the opportunities that the steel pan has, I think we should not slip on it. You would have the biggest opportunity to travel the world and make some good money. Before I go, I want to mention that as well. You make really good money from the steel pan, from just as a solo performer and also as an arranger. When you hear some doctors and you hear some lawyers talking about how much money they're making with X, Y, and Z, and then you're thinking to yourself, okay, but I mean, I'm making some, without really divulging too much, but it's really a lucrative business.
Yes. So guys, this is Mr. Ojay Richards, pan organizer for the Pan Elders. He plays second, guys, and congratulations to him again. And thank you for being here with us. Guys, this brings us to the end of Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates morning show. It's been a pleasure being with you here this morning and sharing with you all that we have to offer in terms of, the bestest of Tobago. Remember to Share the live, share the live, share the live. We go over to Good Morning Tobago with Miss Chanel Felix.